Madam Chair, we think that a person who walks into a job field, who is 18 years and above, who is also have some skills, is someone who is already sane and know what to do. They know at what time to control their marriage and job place. They know at what time to control where to take their drugs and at what time they are supposed to really admit to what they should be doing in the office. What this debate is not about morals. This is what I'm telling to Randy specifically so that it doesn't run the case of morals in this debate, right? Because two things. One, what is moral to Randy is not moral to me. But again, secondly, what company requires is work output, not if you are moral or not moral, right? But to some extent, panel, for you to know that OG is winning this debate, right? If the huge case lies on the reputation of the company, I'm going to handle that in my first three framings in this debate. To the first framing panel, companies always have work ethic to be followed within the workplace, which allows workers to then follow them within that particular workplace, right? Apart from that particular workplace, where you have your private life, then it means that you are no longer a property of a company, but you are a property of your own individual right? You will be given that autonomy to control what you do, to know what you are doing, to control what you take, and also for you to have that energy to perform to these particular companies, right? But again, secondly, for these companies, therefore, to have maximum utilization from their employers, then these people should be given a free environment to express their will, to perform better, and again, to be given all the opportunities to ensure that they're not being treated as slaves, right? In their world, they think that now that I'm being employed by maybe Safaricom, or I'm being employed by maybe Kenyatta University, then I'm their slave, right? We think that employment is not about slave, but employment is me giving services to my employer, and then employer treating me as human being, treating me as a person who is adult, treating me as a person who is sane in this particular debate, right? What this therefore takes out for their case is this. This already shut down any argument from opposition like drinking in work or lacking concentration in the place of work, right? I don't say that we should not drink. Drinking in work is a work ethic. You should not drink in work. If they want to argue in such particular premises, they are out in this debate, right? Or lack of concentration because you're using WhatsApp, you're using phones in the office. Those ones are work ethics that everyone knows, everyone follows them, right? The debate is not about the place of work. The debate is about your private life, right? That to that particular extent, I think they're getting that clearly, right? But again, second type of framing, which is very important as we start this debate so that Randy can be with me in the same page, right? Companies are always defined with things that happens within its premises. For example, if I work within Kenyatta University, then I take drugs as customers looking at me. That is when they define that companies as a drug load areas, right? But if I take my drugs at equivalent, part away from Kenyatta University, that is my individual right, that is my individual personality. It is not being directed directly to Kenyatta University, right? But why do we have people, like, if you take drugs maybe in equivalent, they still direct you to Kenyatta University? Because companies will already give this self-responsibility to themselves through this kind of policies. As long as they have these policies, then it means that their workers, Zachary Mbeke, taking alcohol in equivalent will still be directed to them because they already imposed that responsibility to themselves. It means that if we free this, then we free companies from giving them that greater responsibility of following their workers as if they are kids, as if they are people who require these particular responsibilities and make them trade, right? What therefore they need to prove is that with this, what therefore companies should be given this greater responsibility of following Zachary Mbeke, even his place of work, even who Zachary dates, within that particular extent is already important because of two things. One, it's already shut down the argument of opposition that this will destroy their reputation if they don't follow it up, right? I tell you that if they stop following up, then they reduce that burden of attaching these particular workers to the companies. It means that if you do my things in equivalent, the reputation of Kenyatta University still remains the reputation of Kenyatta Universities. I don't say anything that if today I'm maybe dating Mbeke, how that will affect Kenyatta University in itself, right? If that is the argument of reputation and etc., then they already fought in this debate. But to the much more important thing, what is the burden of opposition so that they come here and run their case? But first, let me take a sip of water. POI.
So, do you know who Jeffrey Epstein is?
I think that is not a required POI here, if I know someone or not. What is very important here, as much as I prove to him that they don't have responsibility to control that person in his place of work, I think that is what my responsibility is, right? But to the burden, what is the burden of opposition? They need then to justify why companies should control my personal life, even if it doesn't
directly attached to them, right? Because me as an individual, I have my own right. I have an autonomy to make my own decision. I have to live my life, and I also have to be happy. I should not be controlled all the time. I have to be given free space to think, to have mental stability, and also to also to have that my social life different from the company's life, right? As much as they cannot justify that, we think that these people will be the fourth in this particular debate, right? Thank you. We will run the interface.